The top pro surfers landed at Snapper Rocks in Australia for the first World Tour event, the Gold Coast, Quiksilver and Roxy Pro. Would 11-time world champion Kelly Slater be able to hold off young guns like Kolohe Andino, Julian Wilson, and Miguel Pupo?
The best pro skateboarders were also hanging out down under as Brazilian Pedro Barros was challenged by vets Bucky, Lasek, and Rune Glifberg in the beachside bowl at the Vans Bondi-Bowl-A-Rama.
Plus, the latest inside news, an upset in AMA Supercross, and surf legend Brad Gerlach joins us in the studio to talk about who went big and who went down at Snapper Rocks.
Oh yeah, it's all going down, and it all starts right now. You're Inside Alli Sports.
Got some rivalries going on today. I surf against Geordie. Me and Julian have a good ones. They're the ones you live for, and you're happy to get involved in a real rivalry.
Who's going to do it here tonight? Can Dungey get KTM their second win? This is the final lap. Who's going to get the checkers?
I have a serious love-hate relationship with the elevator. When it's going on, I can't imagine not taking part in it, but the traffic sucks.
This is Inside Alli Sports. I'm Parnell.
And I'm Angela Sun. There were a lot of questions going into the first ASP Surfing World Tour stop at the Quiksilver and Roxy Pro in Australia. Probably the biggest one was, is there going to be any surf?
Yeah, and the answer to that was, well, yes and no. After pumping sand to help create the superbank at Snapper Rocks, the pros were greeted with 1 to 3 foot waves. Not the best, but they did make the best of it. And this is where youth versus experience came into play, in a field that's beginning to look like old school versus high school.
Going streaking!
Love the spirit. Okay, Tour rookie Gabriel Medina from Brazil was forced out before the quarterfinals by fellow first-year Tour competitor Australian Yaden Nickel. Suffering similar fates in early rounds were Kolohe Andino, eliminated in round 3 by Brazilian Adriana de Souza. Hawaiian John Florence also taken out of commission in round 3 by Australian Adrian Bucky. And finally, Miguel Pupo, who went home after round 4. The vets seem to use their experience to adapt to the conditions, changing their tactics as often as they change their boards. Defending Quiksilver Pro champion Kelly Slater dominated his heat in round 4, even switching out his board in mid-heat.
You know, that's a heat where you can kind of mess around. That's why I switched boards to a new one I've never ridden. You know, I probably wouldn't do that in a normal heat, but heat like that gives you the room to move. And I ride that board design all the time. I just hadn't ridden that board, so it just seemed like the right one to ride out there.
Round 5 action saw Joel Parkinson edge fellow Australian Julian Wilson, earning 2-time Quiksilver Pro champion a place in the quarterfinals. After fighting through the pain after being stung by a blue bottle jellyfish, or perhaps fired up by it, Parkinson posted the event's first perfect 10. Though skeptical Shea Lopez tweeted to Kelly Slater, 10? Seen a lot of waves surf that well, score between 8.5 and 9.5, but never a 10. Kelly tweeted back, great ride, but perfect score without an air in performance waves doesn't really tick all the boxes. He smashed it though. In quarterfinal matchups, Parkinson took on South African Jordy Smith, while Kelly Slater matched up against Australian Josh Kerr. We'll have the full Quiksilver Pro results next time on Inside Alli Sports.
In what played out as payback for last year's finals, Roxy Pro runner-up Tyler Wright from Australia faced off against defending champ Carissa Moore from Hawaii. The much-anticipated rematch had Wright ferociously attacking the waves, defeating the ASP World Champion and moving on to the semifinals. Working just as hard was Australian Sally Fitzgibbons, who eliminated Hawaiian Malia Manuel. While the 18-year-old placed the highest of any rookie at Snapper, Manuel couldn't match up against the strong performance of the ASP World Champion runner-up.
It's the exciting part of the event. You know, you start to really build, and you have to test yourself and just have that confidence to throw the big maneuvers. I love sort of quarterfinal stage onwards, and especially out here at Snapper.
Fitzgibbons will have to bring everything she's got into the semifinals when she goes up against Steph Gilmore, who's been dominating her heats at Snapper. Rounding out the All-Aussie semifinal, it's Tyler Wright matched up against Laura Ediver. We'll catch you up with the complete results next time on Inside Alli Sports.
With old guards like Joel Parkinson and Kelly Slater sending the youth movement back to school at Snapper, is this a preview of what's to come on the World Tour? Or will the young guns learn from their mistakes and hit back twice as hard? If anybody can cut through the clutter, it's pro surf legend and former world #1, Brad Gerlach. Brad, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Pat.
Amazing season so far. Let's get into the talent on the rookie side, because it goes deep, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you got Kolohe, you got Gabriel Medina, Yaden, who I thought looked the best of the rookies, and then I guess John's kind of a rookie, and he looked amazing.
Who has been training in the off-season that you can tell?
Everybody.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Pretty much?
Yeah, everybody. And I think, you know, you heard from the guys in there all feeling like a ton of pressure and a lot of nerves for the first event because they know a good start is like a good sign for the season and all that stuff.
And I think the same would apply for the women because you've seen a lot of surfers just reinvent themselves, whether it's Laura Enneber or Stephanie Gilmore come back with a vengeance.
Stephanie looked amazing. Really loose, really relaxed, powerful, still feminine, you know, with how fluid she is, and yeah, very impressive. I thought Carissa looked great. Maybe she just didn't compete as well, but she was up against Tyler Wright, who I also think is looking very good. She could use like a little more refinement in her style, but she's still super effective because she's on the attack, and that's what's fun to watch.
So many contenders on the women's side. Let's talk about the one thing that's been blowing up the message boards, and that is Parko's 10. I know you saw it. What are your thoughts? Was it a 10? Did he tick all the boxes?
Well, I watched it on online, and you know, it's hard to tell online because you can't see how much distance he's covering. So it's a little different. When you're watching it live, the guy's covering a ton of area, and there's a lot of speed, and there's that spontaneity, and you never know what's going to happen, so you get a different emotional response. My first feeling was I didn't think it was a 10, but it was certainly an exciting ride, and that second turn was the crux of the whole score. Not a lot of variety. That's not a 10, but you know, if you're there on the beach, it's pretty. You know, maybe that was the most exciting ride that they've seen in a long time. So,
King Kelly, 11-time world champ. You saw how he performed in the early rounds at Snapper. Is his mind in the right place, and do you think he's going to?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. I think he's really focused on winning. I think he's having a lot of fun there. I think he's so good at he's the best ever. And certainly his body looks like it's in fine form and shape, and his boards look like they're working well for him. And if he wins the contest, I won't be surprised.
Exactly. Brad Gerlach, everyone. Coming up, the world of skate heats up as Pedro Barros tries for 3 bull wins in a row at the Vans Bondi-Bowl-A-Rama in Australia.
And 32 of the top skaters are divided into Team Berra and Team Costin in the Battle of the Berrics, number 5. Stick around.
Dramatic.
5. Welcome back to Inside Alli Sports. There was a total prize purse of 80,000 Australian dollars on the line for the Vans Bondi-Bowl-A-Rama skateboard competition held on the shores of iconic Bondi Beach in Australia.
And for those of you thinking 80,000 Australian dollars converts like what, 20 bucks? Rest assured it's worth over 85,000 US dollars.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, that's good news though for Pedro Barros. With his overhead 540 variations and progressive grinds in the bowl's deep end corner, the Brazilian skateboarder has now claimed his 3rd consecutive bowl contest, following his wins at the Wellington in New Zealand and the Pro Beach Bowl at the Aussie Open. Bucky Lasek finished behind Barros to take 2nd, followed by Denmark's Rune Glifberg on the podium at 3rd.
The next big bowl event is the Pro Tech Pool Party at the Vans Bondi-Bowl in Orange County, California, and the defending champion at that event, yeah, shocker, Pedro Barros. When pro skateboarders Steve Berra and Eric Costin wanted to share their unique vision of skateboarding, they created Battle at the Berrics.
And the winner is...
It's a bracket-style tournament that brings together 32 of the best skaters in a raw, minimalist format that emphasizes highly technical tricks.
Now, we had to track down somebody from the inside to tell us what it's exactly like to be at the Battle of the Berrics. So 2-time X Games gold medalist, 2-time winner of Thrasher Magazine's Skater of the Year, and the winner of Battle at the Berrics 2, Chris Cole.
Yeah. Because I do believe positive over negative.
The thing that's great about the Battle of the Berrics is that they've created their own editing style, quick from thing to thing to thing. And their editing style has made it really palatable way to watch skateboarding online. They really keep your attention until it's done, and then you can move on. It gets watched by so many people. Like, kids are watching it, like people are excited to see who's up next, who plays who.
You guys ready? That was an action film.
I have a serious love-hate relationship with Berrics. When it's going on, I can't imagine not taking part in it. But the traffic sucks to drive up there. P-Rod is always the dude. He's a rough dude. There's dudes like Shane O'Neill. There's dudes like P-Rod. And then there's that random dude. That random dude that you don't want to lose to, that is establishing himself as a force to be reckoned with in a game of skate. Dude's got all random tricks. They're all ridiculously specialized, like only that dude can do them. If you let him do them, he's gonna beat you and you're just gonna like go home just bumming. Like you didn't get to play P-Rod, you got to play random flat ground kid. And you're like, man, I don't want to play that dude. You know what I mean? The other contests are like you versus at least 10 other incredible dudes as collectively one dude that can do everything. And so you're competing against this Goliath and you're not thinking about that one individual.
You ready? Perfect. Battle of Berrics.
When you go into Battle of the Berrics, you have to think about that one individual person, what their strengths and weaknesses are. It's quiet, everybody's waiting like a golf match. You're pushing up and you're like, I don't even know what I'm about to do right now. It's way more nerve-wracking to be at the Battle of the Berrics, skating with 20, 30 people there.
Hey, good game, guys, good game!
Rather than like at a street league with like a ridiculous amount of people.
Coming up, we break down what's going on in action sports on Inside News.
And a win streak is broken in one of the closest supercross races yet when we come back. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Todd Richards. Welcome to my office. And I'd like to remind you to subscribe to the Alli Sports channel on YouTube, where you'll find the latest up-to-the-minute action sports content posted daily. On Inside Alli Sports, hosts cover the biggest stories in action sports from all over the globe, with analysis from experts in surf, skate, snowboarding, BMX, and pretty much anything else that races, rides, or flies. We'll also give you a behind-the-scenes take of these unique athletes and their lifestyles. We go beyond the competition and see the fun, creativity, and innovation that fuels their passion. Whatever you do, don't even think about missing Awesome on Alli, hosted by a pretty awesome, slightly older guy named Todd Richards.
This is where the magic happens.
And you get to come with me and be part of the action. It's the Alli Sports channel on YouTube. Get online right now and subscribe. Go to www.allisports.com for more information. See all the favorite action sports videos right here.
Welcome back.
I'm not sure what that means. Here's a breakdown of the latest in sports with Inside News.
The world's best surfers traded in their board shorts for long pants. Well, most of them. At the 2012 ASP World Surfing Awards in Queensland, Australia. The event was hosted by X Games host Sal Masekela and featured music from the Grammy Award-winning artist Wolfmother. The highlight was the crowning of Kelly Slater as the world champion for the 11th time.
There's guys who are 22 years younger than me on this tour now. I've been on the tour longer than they've been on the earth, a couple of these guys. ASP, thank you guys for the trophy and for the night and for all these years, and it's just wonderful. Thank you.
Also on hand to receive her first Women's World Championship award was 19-year-old Carissa Moore.
I've been looking forward to eating a nice bowl of salad or cereal out of it for some time now. No, thank you everyone so much and for all your support.
Rookie of the Year awards went to Australians Julian Wilson and Tyler Wright.
Just when it seems many have forgotten what snow looks like, Lake Tahoe was hit with their first substantial snowstorm in over a month, ranging between 11 and 18 inches at the resorts around the lake. This is good news for Vail Resorts, which has agreed to buy Kirkwood Mountain Resort at Lake Tahoe for approximately $18 million. If the deal goes through, Vail Resorts would operate 3 world-class mountains in the Lake Tahoe region, including Heavenly and North Star.
Over 400 top amateur and professional snowboarders from all over the world are in Switzerland for the Burton European Open Championships. Featuring competition in halfpipe, superpipe, and slopestyle with a prize purse of $125,000, the Burton Open is one of the biggest snowboard events in Europe. It's the 3rd stop on the Burton Global Open Series and is a 6-star TTR event.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the globe, the 5-star TTR US Grand Prix is underway at Mammoth Mountain, California. The Grand Prix is the longest-running snowboarding tour in the United States. Featuring slopestyle and halfpipe, the riders will be competing for a $90,000 prize purse.
We'll have all the results of both the Burton Open and the US Grand Prix next time on Inside Alli Sports.
Now, if there was a question about who could end Ryan Villopoto's winning streak in AMA Supercross, and I know because I asked this question last week, it was answered in front of a sold-out crowd of 71,000 fans strong at the Georgia Dome when Ryan Dungey earned his 2nd victory of the series.
Who's gonna do it here tonight? Dungey in 2nd, Millsaps right there. Brayton is in 4th. The Muscle Milk Honda team running 1st and 4th. Oh, here comes Dungey. The crowd is into it, and so is Seeley. He's not giving up. Dungey!
Dungey took the lead at lap 7 while Villopoto pushed hard to fight back from a 6th place position. But by lap 11, it was Villopoto and James Bubba Stewart hot on Dungey's wheels.
Who's going to come out with all the momentum heading to St. Louis?
Look at Villopoto.
Oh, he makes a little mistake, giving it all he's got. Who wants this more?
The final lap gave fans plenty to cheer about as the defending champ pushed to within a 2nd behind Dungey.
He's going to get the checkers. Looking for his 2nd win of 2012. He's done it.
But at the finish, it was all Dungey, with Villopoto in 2nd and Bubba taking 3rd. Overall standings tell a different story, however, with Villopoto still 10 points ahead, followed by Dungey, Stewart, and Chad Reed, who was forced to withdraw from the 2012 series due to injuries sustained from the crash at Dallas.
Thanks for checking us out again on Inside Alli Sports, your base camp for action sports. And keep up with us, the latest news and events, and maybe some fun pictures behind the scenes by following us on Twitter at AlliSports, or give us your take by tweeting at #InsideAlliSports.
Gosh, that's a lot to remember. Here's a little more, and you'll thank me for this. Be sure to subscribe to Alli Sports Network and check out all the shows on the Alli Sports channel here on YouTube, but most importantly, this one, Inside Alli Sports. I'm Pat Parnell.
And I'm Angela Sun for Inside Alli Sports.
I can go now.
Peace.
This way, right here.